Welcome students. Today's our topic is physical design of IoT. The physical design of IoT refers to the IoT devices and IoT protocols. Things are node devices which have unique identities and can perform the remote sensing, actuating, monitoring capabilities. So communication established between things and cloud-based servers over the internet by the various IoT protocols. Now things. Basically things refers to IoT devices which are unique identities and can perform the remote sensing, actuating and monitoring capabilities. So things are is the main part of IoT application. IoT devices can be various type sensing devices, smart watches, smart electronic appliances, wearable sensors, automobiles and industrial machines. This device generate data in some form and the others which when processed by data analytics system lead to useful information to guide the further action locally or remotely. So this diagram is physical design of IoT diagram. So this picture shows the generic block diagram of IoT device, and it may consist of several interface for connections to other devices. So IoT devices has input output interface for sensors. Similarly, the internet connectivity, storage and audio video. So IoT devices collect data from onboard or attached sensors and send data communicate the either to other device or the cloud-based servers. So today, so many cloud servers available for especially the IoT system, that is the cloud-based servers are available. This platform known as IoT platform, and actually this could this cloud especially designed for IoT purpose. So here we can analyze and process the data easily on the cloud-based servers. So this is all about this diagram of IoT physical device. The next is the IoT protocols. Now the IoT protocols. IoT protocol help to establish communication between IoT device, that is node device, or the cloud-based server over the internet. So it helps to send the commands to IoT device and receives data from IoT device over the internet. This image is showing to understand which protocol use for the at the different levels. Now at the first there is a link layer. So link layer protocol determine how data is physically sent over the network physical layer or the medium, that is that medium may be of cable or any other medium, that is the coaxial cable or the Wi-Fi or radio waves or etc or fiber optics also it may be. So this layers determines how the packets are coded and signaled by the hardware device over the medium to which the host is attached. For example, coaxial cable, or it may be of other. Now here we see the different protocol for this link layer. The first one is 802.3 Ethernet. This Ethernet is a set of technologies and protocols that are used primarily in LAN, local area network. It was first standardized in 1980 by IEEE 802.3 standard, and this defined the physical layer and medium access control, that is MAC sublayer of the data link layer for wired Ethernet network. So Ethernet is classified into two categories: classical Ethernet and switched Ethernet. The next one is the Wi-Fi, that is 802.11 Wi-Fi. This is IEEE, and it is a part of IEEE 802 set of LAN protocol, and it specifies the set of media access control and physical layer, that is MAC and PHY protocol for implementing wireless local area network. Wi-Fi computers communicate in various frequencies including but not limited to 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz and 60 GHz frequency band. Now another one is 802.16 WiMAX. This standard for WiMAX technology is a standard wireless metropolitan area network, WMAN, and that has been developed by working group number 16 of IEEE 802. So specializing in point to multi-point broadband wireless access. This is especially for that one. Another is 802.15.4 LRWPAN, a collection of standard for low rate wireless personal area network. Low rate wireless personal area network, LRWPAN. So this IEEE 802.15.4 standard defined by MAC N5, that is the physical layer, used by but not limited to network specifications such as ZigBee, 6 LOWPAN, Thread, WISON and MIWI protocols. So the standard provides low cost and low speed communication for power constrained devices. Another is 2G, 3G, 4G. These are the mobile communication. So these are different type of telecommunication generations, and IoT devices are based on these standards can communicate over the cellular network. Then come to the network layer. This network layer is responsible for sending the IP datagrams for the source network to the destination network, and this network layer perform the host addressing and packet routing. So we use IP4 and IP6 for host identification, and IP4 and IP6 are the hierarchical IP addressing schemes. This IP4 and Internet Protocol address, it is the numerically label assigned to each device connected to a computer network that use the Internet Protocol for the communication. This IP address have two main functions. One is the host and network interface identification, and location addressing. So Internet Protocol version 4 that define the IP addresses as a 32-bit number. However, because of the growth of the internet and you can say depletions of the available IP4 addresses, so a new version of IP6 that using the 128-bit for IP addresses were standardized in 1998. So IPv6 deployment has been ongoing since the mid 2000s. In this, IPv6 is a 128-bit address, and theoretically allowing the 2 raised to power 128, or you can say approximately 3.4 multiplied by 10 to the power 38. Protocol for network layer, that is 6 LOWPAN, low power wireless personal area network. So this is the acronym for this one, and this 6 LOWPAN is the name of concluded working group in the internet area of IETF. This protocol allows for the smallest device with limited processing ability to transmit the information wirelessly using an internet protocol. 6 LOWPAN can communicate with the 802.15.4 device as well as the other type of devices of an IP network like Wi-Fi. Now come on the transport layer. On the transport layer, there are the different protocols, that is the TCP and UDP. So this layer provides the functions such as error control, segmentation, flow control, congestion control. These are the functionality at this level. So this layer protocol provides the end-to-end message transfer capabilities and independent to the underlying network. So TCP, transmission control protocol. This protocol is a standard that defines how to establish and maintain the network conversation through which application program can exchange the data. So TCP, transmission control protocol, with the internet protocol, that is IP, which define how computer sends packets of data to each other. Together, TCP and IP are the basic rule defining the internet. The Internet Engineering Task Force, let's say IETF, define TCP in the request of comment RFC standard document number 793. Now UDP, user datagram protocol, is a transport layer protocol. This UDP is a part of Internet Protocol suite and that referred as UDP IP suite. So unlike TCP, it is unreliable and connectionless protocol. So there is no need to establish connection prior to data transfer in the UDP. Now come on the application layer. This application layer protocol defines how the applications interface with the lower level protocol to send over the network. Now, the first, that is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is an application layer protocol for transmitting hypermedia documents such as HTML. It was designed for communication between web browser and the web server, but it can also be used for other purposes. So HTTP follows a classical client-server model with a client opening a connection to make a request, then waiting until it receives a response. HTTP is a stateless protocol, meaning that the server does not keep any data between two requests. Now another one is COAP, that is Constraint Application Protocol, is a specialized internet application protocol for constrained device as defined in RFC 7252. So it enables devices to communicate over the internet, and the protocol is especially targeted for constrained hardware such as 8-bit microcontroller, low power sensors and similar devices that can't run on HTTP and TLS. Next one is WebSockets. WebSockets protocol enables two-way communication between a client running untrusted code in a controlled environment to a remote host that has opted in to communications from the code. So the security model used for this is the origin-based security model commonly used by the web browsers. Next, another is MQTT. MQTT is M2M Internet of Things Connectivity Protocol. Now this protocol, it was designed as an extremely lightweight publish subscribe messaging transport and useful for connection with the remote location where the small code footprint is required and network bandwidth is at a premium. The MQTT protocol. Now the XMPP, that is Extensible Message and Presence Protocol. This protocol is a communication protocol for message oriented middleware based on XML, Extended Markup Language. This enables the near real-time exchange of structure yet extendable data between any two or more network entities. Then coming the DDS, the Data Distribution Service. DDS is a middleware protocol and API standards for data-centric connectivity from the object management group. It integrates the component of system together that provide the low latency data connectivity, extreme reliability and scalable architecture that business and mission critical Internet of Things application needed. And the last one, that is AMQP. AMQP is the IoT protocol that consists of hard and fast off component that route and save the messages within a broker carrier. With a set of policies for writing the component together, the AMQP protocol enables the patron programs to talk to the dealer and engage with the AMQP model. So these are the different protocols which are used at the different layer of the physical design of the IoT. Thank you very much.